So I'm going to open up with some stories today, and I want you to pay attention to your body and how your body reacts to these stories. There was a lady that she got her first four-wheel drive vehicle, and we don't usually have to worry about this in Texas too much because we don't get a lot of snow. But evidently, it's a different way of driving if you're driving it in snow. So I would probably be this lady stuck on the side of the road because evidently the gear's locked. And she just sat on the side of the road and just wished and hoped and prayed for somebody to come by. And sure enough, a young gentleman comes by in his vehicle and he's like, "Hey, what can I help you with?" And so she told him what was going on. And so he showed her how to unlock the gears and how to be able to shift them to whatever gear she needed for the terrain of the day. And she's from like a small town, a small area. She hadn't seen him before. And so she asked, "I haven't seen you around. Where are you from?" His reply was, "Oh, over yonder." And the story, she didn't say whether she ever saw him again. And so this was coming from a Reader's Digest version of little angels and miracles that come along our way. And then there was a family that was going through a really tough time. A family member of theirs was transitioning. And this family member just wanted to live to see the new year turn. It was 1999, and he wanted to see the new millennium. And as they were going through this, a black lab with a little bit of white in his whiskers just showed up on their doorstep. And they called the neighbors and were like, "Is this your dog? Have anybody know of anybody that's got a black lab that they're missing?" And to no avail. They didn't get anything in reply. And so they cared for the dog while he was there. He slept on the porch. They made sure it was warm, had food, had water. And the family member, the dog was giving them a good distraction of wondering, where did this dog come from? It's just out of the blue. And so it kind of helped them be a little distracted from what was going to happen in the next few days. And the family member did make it to the new millennium and had the joy of that experience. And as that happened, the dog disappeared. They're like, "Where is this dog?" So they still kept asking around town because they were sharing this wonderful story of this dog appeared when we needed it most, and then it disappeared. And so come to find out, this dog lived several miles down the road. So not like a close neighbor, just several miles down. And the person said, "Oh, yes, we were missing him." And so they shared that this dog came to them, to their family, during that time of need, that time of unconditional love that dogs tend to give us. And then I looked at a little bit of history. In 1914, we're in World War II. No, one. We're in World War I. And we are on the battle lines. And there was a truce. And it wasn't a truce that was brought forth by the powers that be. This was a truce of the soldiers on the field that said, today, we won't battle. We will put down our weapons. And they went to no man's land and shared cigarettes, cigars, some adult beverage, whatever they could find to give from themselves to the person that they were fighting against. And it went both sides. And I'm amazed by that story because it wasn't like a small unit. They estimate that this was about 100,000 troops that participated in this. And it just, if you're like me, from the buildup of these stories, I have goosebumps. And that's what I meant by feel it in your body. Because no matter how big or small the event, whether it's one person, a pup who just happens to If God is in everything, then surely that dog recognized its gentle God nudge to go be comfort for someone, or thousands, hundreds of thousands of troops. One thing awakened in them: the Christ center, the goodness of God. So today we're going to explore everyday joy. Have you ever wondered how that we can bring this feeling of the holidays, these holy days, along with us through the rest of the year? Because it just feels good right now. Everybody's either happy or trying to be happy, or they're showing love. And it's because some people are really good at faking it till you make it with the happy part. But even if you're not happy, you can experience joy. Metaphysically, from the Revealing Word, which is definitions from Charles Fillmore, who is the founder of Unity, joy is the happiness of God expressed through his perfect idea, humankind. Now, I can't help but think of the energy of the God within us, that when we see us humans behaving in the goodness of God, that we can personify God in the moment and get that proud parent feeling. Like, my kids, they got it. They're loving one another. They're lifting each other up. And when I got to thinking about this, I was really intrigued with the circularness of it all. It reminded me of a Christmas wreath. And it reminds me that when I think of that Christmas wreath, it is mankind, and then we express our divinity, and then we connect to God, because this goodness that we do connects to another person that God dwells within, and then the joy energy exchange, and then it repeats. And it's this cycle, this interconnectedness of the happiness of God. When I listened to the stories, when I read them aloud to myself, I experienced that feeling, that sense of joy. And it wasn't, oh, this made me happy, it's a feel-good story. It was really a deep-seated feeling that I can feel in my entire body. John 15:11 shares Jesus saying this: "These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full." That is an affirmation that our joy is full. We are full up. We can be sad and experience joy at the same time. We can be happy and experience joy at the same time. For me, joy is not human happiness. It's not even really a feeling. It is an embodiment. It is like peace, peace being a state of being, like peace calls us to interaction. And peace ripples out, this peace that we have within ripples outward from inward. And then joy is an outward action of the Christ within. So we can center into that peace that we have, so that we can truly connect to the divine within us, so that we can feel that God nudge, what it is that is ours to do, to move that God energy. Joy is that visceral sensation that our body gets that when we do the good works, the God works, when we see and when we hear others doing the good works, the God works. And it shows up like this: a smile that lingers, tears, goosebumps, and warmth. And the warmth is because we are literally feeling the good God energy moving forth. Have you ever felt your body heat up when something really, really good happens and you realize that it's divine. It's simply divine. Joy is when we abandon every thought that creates separation. All of them. And we act solely out of the goodness and the godness of our being. And I see this happen in some of the news snippets. Like, have you ever seen a newsreel come by and there's a car and it's on fire and you've got people that don't know the person and they are rushing to try to get the person out? They're not thinking about, do I like this person? Does this person make good decisions? Do I worship the same religion that they do? None of that. It is truly God in action, being what we are called to be, to serve and love one another. When I look at Jesus' example, our way shower of how do we do this? And it really is so simple. We feed the hungry. We heal the sick. We comfort loved ones when they need it. We express gratitude. We encourage others. We remind people that they are the light of the world. Friends, you are the light of the world. Feel that. You are the light of the world. And he loved everyone authentically, just as they are. Just as they are. It is rewarding, and not in an ego kind of way of rewarding, like, oh, I did this good thing for somebody and let me tell you about it. It's those feelings of you got goosebumps because you know you're in alignment and speaking from your God expression. So imagine what the world would be like if multitudes of people lived their everyday joy. If multitudes of people recognized their God within, their Allah within, their whatever they call the being, the thing that is greater than our human self. One blessing bag at a time. One I can't speak today. One affirmative prayer at a time. And we multiply that by millions. And then other people get the energy of that and they're like, hey, they feel that. And they want to do that. And so for me, when I look at our congregation, when I look at you guys, I affirm that this community, you all, I don't know which camera's on me, you all, practice everyday joy. And I see you do it. And when you do, then the God in me feels that joy, the happiness of God, expressed through his perfect idea, humankind. We can find the time, and we do. We express love. We fully act on our God nudges to be humankind expressing as our Christ self in action. For your spiritual exploration this week, reach out to somebody and express that goodness in whatever way you want to do it. You may bring somebody food. You may give somebody a Reiki session if you do that. You may comfort loved ones. You may give thanks for everything that we have that we even take for granted. Give thanks. We encourage others. We remind people that you are the light of the world. And we love everybody authentically as they are. And when you do that this week, pay attention to how you feel, what you sense when that energy is exchanged. Because I'm pretty sure you will feel it. hitting the wrong button. And so with that, let's say our affirmation together. I am joy as I act on doing good as divine expression. I am joy as I act in doing good as divine expression. I am joy as I act on doing good as divine expression. So it is, and so we let it be. Shine on, y'all.